Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, June 20th. Friendly reminder, the markets are closed on Thursday. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple of quick clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos while the market is still open. That way we can capture sometimes some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. Ticker symbol number one, we are looking at APVO. Wild move on this one. And at this point, no doubt about it, the chart is looking pretty ugly. But you longer time viewers, you know what I'm going to say next. There can be opportunity in the ugly. And what makes this very interesting here headed forward is that with the big pullback, the price is still up above the pink line here, which is the 200 period moving average, and the purple line, which is the 50 period moving average. In fact, last time during the latter morning, price came right down to that pink line. Beautiful bounce. Now, I'm not saying that for sure guaranteed the price is going to bounce off it again. I'm just saying that the thought of the price coming down to that area and then getting some sort of bounce is not irrational. It makes sense because those are some two very popular and key moving averages. So you can call it a self-fulfilling prophecy. You can call it whatever you want. But it's not crazy at all to think the price could come down there and then bounce back off those areas again. So just to reiterate, no guarantees, but is that a valid question and scenario to throw out there? Absolutely. Now, if you're not going to manage risk, then you should definitely stay away from situations like this. I mean, you shouldn't even be trading, but that's a whole other topic. But situations like this, because if the price keeps bleeding, you don't want to turn yourself into a bag holder. But if you can honor risk and manage risk, then you can structure yourself a really interesting risk versus reward scenario. So yes, ugly looking chart, but is there some opportunity if it can pull back to those moving averages? We'll see what happens. Next one, RYDE. Very nice pattern here. So let's just hop right into it and get this pattern drawn into place here. So first part of the pattern is what I would consider the resistance portion of it. So we have this resistance trend line like that. Bottom part of the pattern, we have this support trend line. And then just from the overarching standpoint, to keep the pattern easier to see, let's keep it one color. So we have resistance, we have our support, we have the nice upwards move right here. And then for you golfers out there, put the golf down here to make it a little bit more visual. This would be a bull pennant pattern. Now, just because something's a bullish pattern does not mean for sure guaranteed it's going to make a move in the upwards direction. But would it be shocking if the price did something like this and then came up here and broke through there? No, that would not be shocking at all. So again, is that guaranteed to happen? It's not. But certainly a more than valid question to throw out there. So if you like penny stocks, you like bull pennant patterns, keep an eye on it. Next one here, looking at ticker symbol TSLL. And if you watch past videos, then hopefully you remember this trend line up here. And that trend line definitely came into play today. The price never hit it exactly, but I think we can all agree. It got very close right there. Could not push above it. So moving forward, that trend line remains public enemy number one in terms of areas of resistance. Even if the price does push above there, that is a good step in the bullish direction. But you don't want to get overly excited about it because not that far away would then be the pink line right there, the 200 period moving average right there valued at $13.15. So keep an eye on that dynamic right there as time continues to play out over the next couple of days. And then from just more of an overarching, I want to put in a new level from, like I said, the overarching standpoint. And that's this trend line right here. So we were talking about, definitely multi-day, multi-week trend lines here, but overall, I think this does a very good job of just kind of encapsulating what's been going on. So it's pretty much just a waiting game. Who is ultimately going to win out of this back and forth battle? Do the bulls win with a break to the upside? Do the bears win with a break to the downside? Not sure we'll get our answer on Friday, but early next week for sure, going to have to get our answer, and the price is going to have to make up its mind. But right now, I would say those are definitely the two key technical levels. Next one here, ticker symbol PTLE. And overall, keyword there being overall, the chart is just fine. And I mentioned that because I do understand if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, and you bought right there, maybe you bought right there, and your plan was to buy and sell within 10 minutes. Well, then yes, from that standpoint, things are looking a bit shaky. But assuming you do care about the overall picture, everything is still perfectly fine, even with the pullback here. So we'll map out a couple of key levels. First level right there, main area of resistance. And then we have this area of support. Oops. Change that to green, and then just make everything the same color, just because I just can't help myself. So there we go. Resistance, support, nice move right there. golf hole down here, we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So if you like bull pennants, you like penny stocks, here you go. Next one here, NVDA, and this is exactly why I like to do these when the markets are open, because check out the last 30 minutes of the day. Beautiful big green candle, and got the break up through the red line right here, which is a 145. I've been talking about that time and time again in past videos. So the break has happened. Now we get to ask the very exciting question, is this break the start of something even bigger? Now, there's still work that needs to be done. There's actually a bit of a resistance here that formed all day long. So the price hasn't quite broken above that. But in my opinion, at least, the most interesting dynamic is the fact that the price has gotten through the 145. Now, think about that question. Is this the start of something bigger? It makes no sense to ask that question if nothing worthwhile has even happened. But something worthwhile has happened. Again, the breakout of 145. Therefore, it makes total sense to ask, is it the start of something way bigger? To be fair, maybe it's not. Maybe this thing just rolls right back over. But again, to be fair, that's a two-sided coin. Maybe this is the start of something bigger, and NVIDIA is about to get rocking and rolling to the upside. So good to see 145 broken. But yes, is this the start of something even bigger? We'll see what happens over the next few days. Next one here, ticker symbol BBAI. Overall, the chart's hanging in there, but again, keyword there being overall, because I understand if you're a day trader and you bought there, or you bought there, or you maybe even bought right there, and we're looking to buy and sell very quickly. Yes, things are not looking so good for you, but from the grand scheme of it all, you can see that the price is still much higher than where it was. I mean, not that long ago, the price was stuck down in this area of the chart for quite a while, which does also bring about why I would say this area, I'm not going to say is do or die, but certainly very, very important. And that is this area right here at 391. And I'm not saying this will occur, but if the price were to come down to this 391 mark and then break down below it, what is that doing? That's all of a sudden putting the price, well, right back inside of this range where it just was. And not to insult your intelligence, but price movements with genuine power are not going to make, great moves to the upside and then go right back to where they were. So again, that hasn't happened. The price has not, quote unquote, gone back to where it started. But that is why, in my opinion, that 391 mark, very, very important. In terms of areas of resistance, if it tries to turn itself back around from the overarching standpoint, I would just keep an eye on that overall trend line right there. So, yeah, it's pulled back, but there is still that opportunity to build the higher base, and that's very, very important moving forward. Real quick, I want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering very soon. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching at YouTube, there's a link down below the description area, or if you're watching it right at my website, there's an area on the webpage that you can use to sign up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. Next one, taking a look at MRIN, and you've already heard me talk about this pattern, so in the spirit of respecting your time as much as possible, let's just try to keep this as quick as possible. So there is, give or take, the top part of the pattern. Here we have the bottom part. Let's change that to green. You probably know where I'm headed with this at this point, but I just want to make sure that we all see it. So there's our resistance, there's our support, there's a nice move right here, there's the golf hole down here. So we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So I know several of these were penny stock bull pennants. Maybe you don't like to trade penny stocks, but you like stocks still down below, right around the $5 range. So here you go. This definitely fits that criteria. Next one, QUBT, and it's hanging in there, but the chart, I'm not going to say is at a do or die spot, but definitely an important spot, and that has to do with this purple line right there, the 50-period moving average. And you can see that the price, there we go, it's hanging around the area. So it's not like it's collapsed. Right there for a moment in time on that red candle, things were looking pretty shaky, but to be fair, the price did start to bounce back upwards. But this is definitely an area where you want to see the price maintain above it, or not necessarily above it, but at least within the range. So in my opinion, at least the top priority moving forward is just making sure that the price does not separate further and further to the downside. Because if that's what happens, the further and further to the downside that purple line becomes, it's sort of kind of like a court case. The more and more evidence is building up that, the bulls have lost control and that the bears are gaining control. So again, the further the price separates to the downside, the more evidence is piling up against the bulls. And assuming you're bullish, then yeah, you don't want to see that. So, and I'm not saying that's what's going to occur, but that is at least kind of the main dynamic that I think is most important moving forward, is what exactly happens with that purple line there. In terms of areas of resistance, if this thing tries to head back upwards, got an interesting area right there of a trend line. So kind of a double whammy. You have not only the trend line, but you also have that purple line there, which could act as resistance. But the good news is when double whammies are broken, No guarantees, but more than valid that if this is broken, this could certainly create some good solid upside buying pressure. But yes, top priority in my mind right now, not necessarily breaking levels of resistance, but making sure the price doesn't separate too far to the downside of that purple line. Next one, TMC, and we have ourselves, I probably should have put this at, I should have just put all these at the same spot so I could go through these even quicker, but I think you remember what I was just talking about. So yes, we are drawing in a bull pennant. This one looks a little bit different, but the idea is still the exact same. So we have our area of resistance, we have our area of support, we have the nice move right there, and we have the golf hole down here. So another bull pennant pattern. And yeah, this one looks very pretty, very clean. The other ones, they were still bull pennants, don't get me wrong, but not nearly as clean as this one. Not just because it's a clean pattern still doesn't mean that for sure guaranteed it's going to go up. But you always got to like when a good, clean, well-defined pattern shows up, and that's exactly what we have here with TMC. Next one here, TSLA Tesla. And again, for those of you that have watched past videos, you know that I've been talking about that pink line, the 200 period moving average, over and over again. And wouldn't you know it, it showed up once again today, and there it is, still acting as resistance. So this is by far, public enemy number one, where the price has just struggled time and time again whenever it's gotten up around that area to push through. Does not mean that the pink line can't be broken. I'm just saying that apparently the bulls really are going to have to bring their A game if they are going to push through there. So continue to watch right around the 328 mark as that level. And then in terms of support, nothing has changed here. 313 has been the level I've talked about, and it's still totally in play. But just one of those things where, 313, if it were to fail, that does put the price down in the kind of this bigger no man's land of the chart, which does not guarantee that the price is just going to, flush straight downwards, but it also would not be shocking at all to see the bears pick up some more strength and momentum. But one hurdle at a time, because the price hasn't even tested 313, let alone broken down below it. So it's still within striking distance of the pink line right there. But yeah, overall, yes, I realize that today quite a bit happened. Came up, came back down. But when we're looking at multiple days here, nothing has really occurred. It's still stuck below the 200 period moving average and still, respecting above the 313 mark. So we'll see if Friday gives us any more answers or clues in terms of what direction the price might want to go. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more, then definitely get signed up for the free class. It'll be very soon, Thursday, June 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, as always, if you enjoy, make sure you hit that like button. And also, I've been live streaming. So if you're interested in seeing me trade live, come hang out live during the day, ask me questions. Then make sure you subscribe and turn on the notifications so that you are made aware of when I do go live. So if that sounds like of any interest, then again, subscribe, turn on notifications so that you know when I do start the live stream. So thanks for watching. Appreciate your time, and make sure you go get signed up for that free class.